We welcome you, Eagles everywhere, to our weekly one-on-one with head coach Nick Sirianni, presented by Wawa. I'm Eagles insider Dave Spadaro. Playoff week, Nick. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good time. You've got the players back at NovaCare. Can you describe for people who are outside the building what the energy level is like for you?
Yeah, yesterday we went through a couple different things, just to get an early start, and you could feel the excitement in the air. Again, you want to make it the same process as every other game that you've played the entire year. But you definitely felt a little bit of excitement in the air just yesterday when we got the players back in the building. They're off today. They'll be back tomorrow. But you could definitely feel the excitement in the air.
There were a lot of players on Saturday night who did not play, and I wonder what you feel the week off does for a player, both physically and mentally. We had it not too long ago, but then another one. How do you think that helps the players?
I just think it brings them back fresh and ready to go for the next game. We had some guys that were fighting through some injuries, and it gives them an extra week to get ready for another game. That's big. And then mentally too, you go through a process of getting ready for a game that takes a big wear and tear on you as well. And so again, it's just all about being fresh next week or this upcoming week against Tampa, so we can be at our best this week.
You played the Buccaneers back in October. You've studied their defense. You've been immersed in them, I'm sure, for the last few days here. What do they do well?
They do a lot well. This is a really good defense, starting with their coordinator. I think this is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. Always has his team ready to play. Always has good schemes. Always has tough run defenses and tough defenses in general. And then you look at their players, and they're really good up front. A lot of good speed at linebacker. This is a really, really, really good front seven. And they're solid in the secondary. But, when you look at this team and you think about good defensive lines in the NFL and linebackers in the NFL, you think about this team and this group. And then, obviously you have one of the greatest players of all time on the other side of the ball playing quarterback. And it's going to be a challenge. And we're going to have to play a really good game, but that's the way the playoffs go. You got to play your best in December and January to get to the playoffs and then to excel and advance in the playoffs.
Nick, I'd like to revisit the idea of what this football team is doing, what your team is doing. You just said a few moments ago, and you've been asked about it, that, hey, I want to keep things the same. Why is that the right approach, do you think?
Well, I think if all of a sudden you get to what you deem as a bigger game being the playoffs, we know in the playoffs that if you lose, you go home. So we know that's not the case in week 15 or week 14 or week, whatever it is. But if you do something completely different than you did all year, then I don't think you were preparing right throughout the year, because all those games add up. Every game in the NFL is big. But if you're doing something different throughout the year and then you try to change your process when it becomes the playoffs, I just don't think you're in that growth mindset where you're trying to get a little bit better every day and you're not preparing the right way. So, we feel like our process has been tried and true of what we believe in, and we'll stick to that same process that we've had these past 17 weeks.
Jalen Hurts, his first playoff appearance. What do you expect from him? How will you strategically use him?
What I expect is that Jalen's played in a lot of big games, and I kind of talked to that with our team yesterday. That we know we're playing this defending Super Bowl champs, but we got a lot of guys on this team that have played in big games as well. We have a lot of guys, right? We have a lot of guys still here from the Super Bowl in 2017. We have guys that have played in AFC championship games, NFC championship games, not here, right? We have a lot of guys that have played in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament, right? In the bowl game and in the national championship game. And we got experience too. And Jalen's one of those guys. He's played a national championship game. He's played in Final Four games with Oklahoma and with Alabama. So, we got winners on this football team. So much tribute to Howie and his staff of bringing in guys that have won football games. That's something we look at, right? When you're evaluating a player, you want to know that they have the right formula. And one of the formulas is, with the addition of being a talented player, being tough, being physical, right, being smart, having high character. Well, did they win, right? And we got a lot of guys on this football team that have been through that. And I'm right here, I'm sitting and thinking about when I'm talking about this, you're going to be showing highlights of Kayvon in the national championship game and Devontae and Landon and Jalen and Jared, all those guys in the national championship game playing big game, and then obviously, like I said, the Super Bowl teams. Just got a lot of winners on this football team.
You referenced Tom Brady. You've talked about Tom Brady. Everybody's talked about Tom Brady. I wonder if you were writing up a report, if you were in the personnel department, scouting report on Tom Brady, just from a pure, you love the game of football, you're watching this quarterback play, what would you write?
Yeah, wow. Winner, right? He's a winner. He's accurate. He's smart. He knows where to go with the football. There's nothing that he hasn't seen. There's nothing that a defense is going to be able to throw at him that he hasn't seen before. He's seen everything. That's what happens when you play a long time in this league. He's tough. There's been so many different stages in my football life that I have seen Tom Brady, right? I've seen Tom Brady as a high schooler, right? When he was, at Michigan, or, when he was just starting the NFL. I saw him as a college football player, then as a college coach, then as an NFL coach, right? And then as a coordinator, had to go against him as an offense coordinator, and now as a head coach, right? And obviously we went against him earlier in the year. So there's so many different variations of how I've watched Tom Brady in the past, because I've been in so many different stages while he's been in the NFL. So, can't say enough good things about him. We all know who he is and how good of a football player he is. And we're going to have to get ready each and every day to be ready to try to stop him and win this football game.
Jonathan Gannon said for the defense, it comes down to execution in every phase. Is that what you're looking for? I mean, that's what you expect from your defense? That's what you need from your defense?
Yeah, know what to do versus all the different looks we can get. Don't be caught off guard of anything. Just be locked into your assignment, and then let your fundamentals take over that we've been practicing all year, and then your talent will shine.
And then finally, Coach, what is the mindset do you want this team to be in 1 o'clock on Sunday, Tampa, Florida?
Shoot, nothing's changed, right? We want to be physical. We want to be nasty. We want to be mean. We want to be gritty. We want to be grimy. That's who we are. That's what we've been, and that's what we'll continue to lean on to win football games in the playoffs. Love
it. Head coach Nick Sirianni, our weekly one-on-one presented by Wawa. Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thanks, Dave.